A rematch for the ages to open up our day as the previous RMR Grand Final plays out once again. Vitality collide with Big as the Frenchmen hope to claim revenge. Of course, revenge can be much sweeter when there is so much on the line. So let's give ourselves a little recap of exactly what is up for grabs for all of our remaining teams. Of course, we're going to be starting off with the EU RMR event. Of course, that's regional major ranking for those of you that aren't familiar, which is replacing the minor system for the upcoming Rio Major. As you can see on your screen, this is the current RMR ranking as it stands. But as we're going to be having the 9th to 12th place matches later today, of course, this will be changing up a lot. We can see Vitality coming up in our first match of the day. They're currently leading on the ranking and hoping to keep that form up. Next up, we've got our road to Katowice, where teams will earn points at this event as part of the ESL Pro Tour. DreamHack Open 4 will provide 100% points value for the next EPT Masters Championship in Katowice. Then, of course, 50% value for the next championship in Cologne in 2021. And last but by no means least, we've also got the IEM Global Challenge happening at the end of the year, alongside taking home the lion's share of the prize money here at Open 4. The winner of this tournament will also claim a spot at the tournament later on in the year, so a lot on the line for our remaining teams. Of course, joining me to break down all this wonderful action, Potter and Blair. Of course, we rounded out yesterday, Potter, with an absolute banger to be ending our day on. Today, it's promising to deliver even more so.
Absolutely. I mean, you mentioned it, Freya, the grand finals of the last RMR. This series right here is also looking like it could be a grand finals in itself. Both of these squads performing at their highest levels. Now, Big, their road to this match here was a little bit different. Vitality, sure, it's been a bit of a breeze for them. Big, they've had to work pretty hard. A lot of close matches, a lot of close series coming into this one. But both of these guys very familiar with each other. I mentioned it before, Big, they were kind of the last hurdle for a lot of these top LAN teams to be able to overcome this online transition to really establish themselves at the top, because Big, they were holding the throne for quite some time over the summer.
They were indeed, and speaking of that, we can have a look at exactly how Big and Vitality got to this very stage as we take a recap of our current playoff bracket. Of course, we see Big taking that 2-1 win over G2 Esports just a few days ago. Vitality taking a slightly more convincing 2-0 win over NIP. They will be meeting in, I guess, the upper bracket playoff semi-finals, if you will. Of course, we've got the grand finals at the end of the week on Sunday. That's going to be a best of 5. But if they lose this, they're obviously going to be dropping down into our lower bracket, as we can see Fnatic. That happened to you yesterday, Blair. I kind of forgot that we even kicked off yesterday with that Astralis versus Fnatic matchup. There's been so many incredible games, and it's kind of scary to be seeing Fnatic in that lower bracket, but it just shows the caliber of competition that we've got here.
Yeah, and also the potential of a NIP Fnatic matchup. We've seen a few domestic derbies so far in this tournament, and they have been crazy indeed. Now, whichever team drops on the lower bracket, it either has to be Big or Vitality. So, yeah, the lower bracket for me actually looks even more exciting than what's in the upper bracket right now. So it's gonna get even more scary for some of these teams.
It is going to be scary indeed if you're one of those teams in the lower bracket. And of course, today, hoping not to be dropping down are both Vitality and Big. And I think, Potter, we can start off by getting into our map vetoes. Interestingly enough, one of the spiciest vetoes we've seen featured Big against G2. So I feel like we know that they're not scared to push the boat out when it matters.
Exactly. You're exactly right. And I think this veto is going to be spicy as well, because Big have a huge decision right off the bat with the vetoes. It's either going to be Vertigo or they're going to veto Nuke. It just depends on where they're feeling like on this Vertigo side of things. For Vitality, they always tend to veto out that train. Okay, so Big are going to be vetoing out that Vertigo. So here I'm thinking Vitality will probably pick Nuke and Big leading on that Dust 2. But Vitality also swing on Dust 2 as well. Okay, Vitality are going for Inferno. This is pretty standard. I had either Inferno or Nuke for Vitality. I do wish that they would have picked Nuke as kind of a punish pick. Vitality are so damn strong on it. It'll be the third map, so either way, this is a very strong start for Vitality coming into this map series.
Yeah, and I think we should start off by talking about Dust 2. Obviously, Big's pick there. What have we kind of seen of them recently on this map, Sudan?
Their Dust 2 I won't lie. I mean, they only played it once so far in this event, right? Like, they have an incredible win rate. The question for me was who's going to pick it. I thought this one might be a potential decider, considering how Vitality are very comfortable on this map as well. They beat Mao 16-12 in one of the group stage games, did Vitality. So it's actually, I feel like Big have come out a little bit more brave, I might say here, right? Both the teams, they like banning out Train. Neither of them banned out Train in the first phase. They waited for the second phase, where it was Vitality who went for the ban, with Big banning out Overpass and Vertigo there. And picking in Dust 2, I think that's a statement from Big. They're saying, yeah, you might be good on the map, but we are better. We've beaten you in the past on this map as well. We are the more well-rounded team, so to speak. The Inferno pick from Vitality, I don't know. They've either put in a lot of prep into this one, and they're kind of trying to counter what Big might be throwing here. But Potter, I don't know about you, but that 16-5 drubbing, which Fnatic gave Vitality's CT side especially, that's going to be a question mark for me.
It's definitely, it's one of those things where, as I said yesterday, every team tends to think they have the best Inferno in the world, especially between the top 5, top 10 teams in the world. And Vitality, they do lean on this Inferno quite a bit. So although their win percentage isn't quite as high as we've seen some of the teams that like to make Inferno their home map, these guys are feeling really comfortable on it.
Well, I believe they're going to be hoping to make a statement. Of course, it is on the line who goes forward to be facing Astralis. And somebody else making a statement is, of course, Tizian joining Frankie for a pre-match interview.
Tizian, thank you so much for joining me. I wanted to ask you about the aggression on your CT sides, because particularly on Overpass against G2, we saw you guys flanking to perfection. Is that something that you guys feel, I guess, at your most comfortable doing?
Right now we are playing, especially on Overpass, a little bit, let's call it like confidence CS. Like, we don't talk about every pushes or everything, we just play what people want to do. And it's working perfect, especially on that map, so we are confident.
Oh, with that in mind then, tell me about the communication style.
People are confident in doing something and they just say, hey, I'm gonna do that. And if Tapson says yes, they're just gonna do it. Sometimes, of course, they just do it and then they get flamed afterwards. But yeah, that's how we play right now.
Who do you think is the strongest team in this tournament?
I think Astralis. I think they're coming back, even though they're gonna switch their player again. It's so amazing to see them play again, and they just didn't change much, like their skill, let's say it like that.
They're not scared of facing Vitality, it seems, from the big side. But I do want to pick up something that Tizian was mentioning there. Obviously, Tabson, because I feel like, Potter, we've had a bit of a conversation around him. Normally that big fragging in-game leader, but he didn't seem to do so well in that match against G2.
Yeah, which was really surprising. I mean, how many times have we complimented this man of his ability, his prowess in that server? You know, the good news is, though, Big, they ended up winning that series, even though Tapson was struggling a little bit as far as on the scoreboard side of things. But we know exactly how much responsibilities Tapson has on this Big lineup. Such a selfless player, and actually a player who's played every single role that's needed within a squad. So definitely he's completely aware of exactly what his players need. He's able to provide that and really provide a foundation that makes this Big lineup look so deadly. I mean, just think about Xantares. He's a dude that doesn't even speak German, but he's having so much success on this lineup. His team absolutely sets him up in the perfect positions with the flashbangs, and I'm so glad that it was Tizian in that interview, because he's a player that doesn't get enough love. I mean, he has all the dirty jobs, all the hard support roles, so definitely on the scoreboard side of things, he's usually not at the top, but actually for the last couple weeks, he's absolutely been performing.
Yeah, and I think that was the point that we touched on at the last DreamHack Opens today. And we were looking at Tizian and going, he's not really stepping up when he needs to most. Obviously, there's always going to be that person on the scoreboard that has to be on the bottom. But it seems like the consistency for Big has really been stepping up. Do you kind of see this as maybe a movement forward to that online era when they were ranked world #1 in the world? Do you see them sort of going back to that kind of state as a team?
Yeah, they seem to be looking much better, right? It's not just about the results, I feel. It's also the eye test. As a team, they're looking pretty solid right now. I just want to touch on what Potter said as well, like flashing for each other. Big right now have the best flash assist rating in the entire tournament. No surprises, you're talking about Big and the utility usage, right? So they've been looking great. And like you said, Tizian, someone who's usually kind of a little bit quieter, he has really been stepping up. He's alongside Surson, enabling Xantares to be unleashed. So yeah, as a team, I feel they're like in their best form right now in quite a while. The only caveat being that the teams that played so far in this event haven't been the best teams.
Yeah, and compared to the side of Vitality, they came through that group of death as we were branding it. And speaking of which, we've got an absolute treat for you because Masuta had a chance to catch up with Frankie ahead of this one.
I'm really excited to have Masuta join me for his first English interview. So I know that when you first joined Vitality, you had to learn all those things that a young player needs to learn, obviously utility, usage, and better positioning and things. For you, how much better are you now as a player than when you first joined?
I had a lot of difficulty with my utility before and the team play. It was to have players like Shox, Dan, Apex, and obviously Zywo and RPK. It's like so. How can I say that? I'm learning every day.
You are going to be playing Big next. What are your thoughts on Big as a team?
They have the really good, a good online era, I guess. Yeah, I can say that. Yeah. They're really skilled. Like they're really. Every time I play against them, they're so sick. You can't.
Thank you for talking to me.
Thank you.
It's really lovely to chat to you, and hopefully we'll do some more in the future.
It's always a pleasure to get to talk to some of the less talkative players on that Vitality side. Obviously, I've had my fair share of experience with Zyro at the face of the major, but we won't talk about that. Moving swiftly on. I want to focus on Masuta coming into this one, guys, because we've been speaking about him, being that younger player. As he was saying in that interview, he's starting to feel more comfortable. And Potter, I feel like the results have been showing on the server.
Oh, it absolutely has. And I'm so glad we, as you mentioned, got to hear from Masuta because, he's a player since he's joined this Vitality lineup. He's kind of been placed on his own island, kind of set on to kind of take care of himself in a lot of different situations, playing solo bomb sites. And he's actually played his role with poise. He's shown up. He's not always at the top of the scoreboard, but hey, when you've got Zywo and friends, it's kind of hard to distribute those kills a little bit because Zywo is on this lineup and he's good for 3 per round. So definitely this Vitality lineup, I think, Bleg, you mentioned it, they are looking like the strongest team here. It does seem like they've checked every box as far as what it takes to be the most successful team. Their utility usage on point, their map control on point, their communication on point. So definitely Vitality are looking strong right now.
I actually have to kind of counter one point there, Potter. I apologize for proving you wrong. Vitality have the second worst utility damage in the tournament right now.
What?
Which is so weird. However, I agree with every other point because they're the only team where all 5 players are positive rated right now in the tournament. They have the best 5v4, they have the highest opening kill percentage in the tournament. They also have the highest 4v5 win rate as well. So in every other performance metric, they are number 1 so far in this RMR event.
And of course, as you touched upon there, Potter, Zyro is a man that we always have to talk about. And Blair, I believe you've got a head-to-head comparing one of the team members from each of the teams here.
Yeah, this one's an easy one to pick, right? You look at Zywo, you look at Xantara, the 2 highest rated players in the tournament. Zywo with 1.47 HLTV rating, Xantara's 1.36. The third is Issa, who's on 1.25. That's how far ahead of everyone else these 2 players are. But for me, it's gonna be more about how much does Zywo have to carry? The good thing we've seen from Vitality so far, Potter, is the fact that initially we're against a Fnatic game especially, Zywo just popped off. It's the classic Zywo showing up, the team really not doing much. Shox had a very quiet game as well. But the previous game they had, it was against NiP. Everyone stepped up. Zywo, it's not like he had a bad game. He didn't have to do anything. It was a below average game for Zywo, and still they won so convincingly. That's a great sign for Vitality. For Big, I feel it has to be a similar case. It can't be Xantaris alone trying to top frag and get 30 bombs every game. I feel like everyone needs to chip in the fragging department at the very least.
Well, with that all being said, I think it is time to be wrapping up our predictions for this first best of 3. Potter, coming to you first, who are you going to be siding with?
I'm going with Vitality here. As Bless said, it's no longer Zywo and friends. Shox has absolutely been stepping up. I've got all the faith in Vitality's basket right now.
What about
I'm gonna
you,
make this one quick. I have to side with the numbers. I'm a man of, just siding with the numbers, basically. That didn't go the way I was planning to. It has to be Vitality. For once, I'm going to agree with Potter.
I'm also going to be agreeing with both of you. I think it's going to be the Frenchman across the board for this one. But I'm also interested to see exactly where our Twitch chat is siding for this one. Let's see where the fans are putting their money for this next series. It's going to be actually siding with Big. 73%. The big fans are out in a big way in our Twitch chat. But of course, you guys can get involved with the action too. We've got our sports buff quizzes and polls. So make sure you are linking your account with the leaderboard, as you'll have a chance to win some very special points indeed. But that all being said, I think we can begin to kick off this first series of the day, a grudge match to get our pulses racing early in the morning. And no one is going to be hoping to claim revenge more than Vitality. Can they take Big down? Find out after this.
Well, hello. It's yet another day of DreamHack Open Fall, another day of Counter-Strike, and another day of Scrawny and Launders here on the A stream to take you guys through our upper bracket semifinals. Listen, Mohan, you know me. There's not many things that get me out of bed at 6 in the morning. Big and Vitality, that's at the top of the list. I'm pretty stoked for this one, man. I can't wait to see these teams lock horns.
Yeah, it was cool to listen to Apex talk recently about his role as an IGL and how that's evolved, and the comparison between him and Alex running the team and how this team is all about ZywOo these days. No one talks about the other players on the team and where the credit may fall, but you don't get this consistent. You don't get this far with just one player. And we've seen Shox have an absolute renaissance in the past few weeks with his form. Clearly, with the eye test, when we watch him play these matches, he's been basically a brand new player and a straight up controlled series along with ZywOo himself.
Well, let's see who shows up to play today. Shock's back at the top. That's something that can get you excited. But is it consistent enough? I think in the face of Big's consistency, it's tough to compete. Time will tell. Double smoke, double flashbang here for Tabson and Searson. Got bodies close on the mid doors, and I say that for both of these teams. Keto, he tries to get that first duel, and it's ZywOo to fall to start off the pistol. Quick trade back. Shox is also damaged, down to only 9 HP. There's that smoke for CT. And Apex going to challenge the doors with a flash of his own. It's Masuda on this B flat. At bat, trying to tap, can't quite catch it just yet. But speaking of getting caught, there's the flanker dead to right. Tabson gonna trade frag on this B site with a second kill into Apex, and that leaves RPK to clutch.
Ooh, have at it.
That's not bad. Picks up the first one. That takes it from like impossible to improbable. How does he get into the doorway here? No utility to do such. He's just going to need some crisp headshots. And if the player on plat doesn't overface, he does overface. He loses his head, but luckily Xanteras can take it.
You know, that's what I love about RPK. He saw in the last kill, he could have shot there, but he just wanted to make sure he was right on him. And you never want to regret shooting too soon when your opponent gives you a chance, but sometimes when you go up against Xanteras, you're not going to get that chance. So he comes in through the window, and it's just instant death for him, but a really great attempt in the 1v3.
Searson already on the scout. Get ready for this all series long. And Apex, well, he's going to have his hands full if he continues to try and go toe-to-toe with men like Searson.
Man, like Searson.
Here's the push. Little MP9 setup into the tunnels. Both players die. Xanteras is there to make the difference. He's now calling that bomb to come over. Searson looking to join him. And Shox, well, he gets aggressive inside of middle, which is a great thing to do. He sections off Tabson, able to engage in a separate 1v1. And now it's ZywOo on the scout, full HP. Tantalizing. Sees the player at the top of mid, and Tizian will topple him.
So this is Big Clan on into Vitality on Dust 2, and Vitality are on a 4-map win streak on Dust 2. a very juicy win streak, especially for it being so all these games being so recent. So they took down Mouse Sports, Complexity, Fnatic, and FaZe. There are absolutely no sleepers in the last 4 Dust 2 matches that they won.
And I think that 4-win streak, cementing Vitality as a Dust 2 contender. Let's compare that to, say, G2 beating Astralis 16-something on this map, that absolute stomp. Well, that kind of was a message back from Big, because Big did the exact same thing. Oh, G2, you guys think you think you're better on Dust? Nah, not going to happen. And they really did cement us back into reality there. So maybe just trying to take all the scalps as Big slowly starts to ramp up the caliber of their opposition. They're taking everything away from them. G2 are feeling good.
Yeah, no, this could arguably be the 2 best Dust 2 teams in the world at the moment. There's a couple of other contenders, but even Big have won 4 of their last 5 games. They lost once to OG, but on the outside of that, G2, Mouse Sports, and G2 again. They took a win versus OG before that. So yeah, I don't know. They do have a lot of wins. Not as strong of teams as Vitality.
Making quick work of this A hold. Very little to work with, of course, on Vitality. So it was a matter of just going for a stack. They attempted to push into the tunnels and they found nothing. And now that they've found something, they're going to get a little excited. But there goes tabseN's grenade. The utility usage of Big talking point on the desk prior to this one getting started. The flash assists have been fantastic for them. And, well, tabseN's aim looking good. 2 Galil headshots to close out the 3rd round. That's Big with a flawless start.
Yeah, and to speak to Shocks, I mean, he's just been wildly inconsistent for as long as we can remember. And just recently in these big series, he had a bad performance versus Fnatic where they got 2-1. He had 27 kills. But that was the one where ZywOo had that Deagle Ace on Mirage, went plus 39 in the series, had 79 kills after 3 maps, after getting just 10 in the first. And that was a series they won, so who cares? In the other 2 series they played at Fall, Shocks had 100 ADR and 90 ADR, top frag in both series over ZywOo in just the last few days.
He just got into the pit. Comes out, takes down tabseN, and the second. Good damage output here for Vitality. Maybe it was just the guns they needed. ZywOo also connecting the op shot to Xanteras, now has him walking wounded.
Well, scraping one back from this situation won't be easy, but if there's a map that you can do it on, it's Dust 2.
Facts. Maybe
no
trying
brainer.
to find it towards middle, but nobody there just yet. Vitality disciplined here in the 5v3. Utility comes back out. What's left of it, that is. 2 more Molotovs in the bank for Big. Now they sail forward onto ramp. Apex obviously getting a little bit flustered, but still forcing them to come all the way in. The flashbang on the corner is meant to help out. Masuda over on Goose. Crucial kills for him to take, but Xanteras trades. It's 20 seconds and that bomb's going down. Oh, Nelly. 3v5 for Big, and they are this close to taking it, but ZywOo coming up. The pistol connects. Keto off long, completely blind. Of course it's ZywOo to make the difference.
Fantastic play by ZywOo. Throwing the flash down. I keep saying Z, I keep saying Z. ZywOo, of course. Throws the flash down long, blinds him, ices him out in the 1v1, but a great attempt. 2v4 there at one point. And this is because of the fragility of the CT side setup on A, where they have one player coming out long. It's this lurk duel one-on-one, and Keto ends up winning it. And that puts the ramp guy on edge. He knows he has to fight Cat now. He knows he has to fight Long in a second. That makes him a lot less confident about the whole round entirely. So key battle there to allow the bomb to go down, and ZywOo to start off this round hot. Nice shot into Searson. There couldn't be a bigger scalp to take. Oh, and another.
Yeah, might not be bigger, but could be better. tabseN and Searson out of this one early. Now Now Apex just going to be playing next to Scaffold. Going to be set up by Masuda's flash. Gets 1 kill before she pops. And there's the second. Keto attempting to trade. Attempting to take down at least one member of Vitality before this second gun round comes to a close. And no. Everybody up for Vitality. A second round on the board. The moment guns got flowing, Vitality have been going a step above and beyond. Zywoo, 2 op shots down long. Really making it look easy.
Peaks in form right now. Apex looks amazing. Masuda played that well. Ziwoo's on form. We'll see about Shocks. RPK had that pit hold. Everyone's firing off on Vitality right now. Big of a small lead, but this looks like it's going to be a very demanding game. Yesterday we saw Knock, Rain, Rez, all in peak form. I mean, all at the same time. Hopefully we get another game like that.
Yeah, I don't want just one team peaking.
Yeah,
I
want them
stars
wide
to shine
swinging
on each side. Yeah. They tried to wide swing down mid, but nobody was looking to bite on it from Vitality. They've just kind of gone off to their own corners. Being scolded, perhaps. Xantera's 1 AK. Obviously playing that one out towards long alongside Bomb. So we'll see how close they can get to Catwalk before that has to happen. Bit of a dud run boost, but listen, there's nobody here.
These rounds can be suspiciously potent. I mean, they got to get the long crunch going on. We'll see what can happen. Still got the AK up.
Well, Cat falls way too easy. M4 and AK between Apex and RPK. All they really needed. That's going to be the full house on that A-bomb site. As we tie this game at 3 rounds apiece, Vitality, I mean, they have very quickly forgotten how this map started. Big, fallen flat in the last few. But you can see Tabson, talkative, as he needs to be.
So there's a long spawn. They're not going to be using any of their spawns. Big going out into a straight on default. Oh, they haven't bought. I realized, okay, they've got some utility, but it seems like they're just going to Jimmy rig and execute. Something B-leaning, potentially. Seriously, I don't know. Is there an Xbox smoke? CT seem to have their attention drawn. Yeah. And the next round, we'll talk about a fully, but this should be Vitality getting into the lead. That being said, we've got that same 1 AK buy.
Yeah, giving over to Keto. Zywoo can get mollied out of the corner, jumps back into safety. Still has Apex with him, so as if he needed anything to help the confidence. Frag grenade lands perfectly on Searson. Op to finish him off, and Keto down to 67. So that AK not yet even able to shoot back.
He probably could have done a better job swinging there. Kind of like watch Searson die, but didn't even attempt the trade.
A crisscross smokes, and a flash down the middle. Shocks is also in the middle. Between those 2 smoke grenades, he takes his duel. That is the AK taken down. So now it's Masuda with a crossfire on Shocks, and Shocks is just taking all his frags. Masuda says, hey, I want at least 1. Vitality now 1 round in the lead. Score 4-3.
It's going to be a quick final for Vitality if they pick up Dust 2 and make it look easy. So we're going to need to see some more life out of Big. It's been 2 half forces in the last 2 rounds. Searson back on the op. And one of the most consistent players on any team, and to be your opper and to be your star. The 3 great things. The scary part here is long A is just such a focal point of all Dust 2 matches, no matter what. Oh, whoa, what?
Ooh. He got tagged by Searson through the doorway.
Slowed
and
down.
And then Keto, as if he needed to be tagged, just bangs him. Obviously, pulled down there, slowed in the mud of that op shot. Had nowhere to run. Keto knew it. So now no opper here for Vitality. 5 versus 4 for Big. Little mid flash, no push, but
All right.
obviously moving parts here for Vitality in middle.
This is
And
the
they're already starting to go to the B stack.
yeah. It's just RPK. He'll have to do what No Man's done before. 3K by himself on long. Hold it down. Retake the A side. Let's see it.
Oh my goodness. I was thinking to myself, please, second man, check this.
They always do. It's
Izzy and
just
Will,
like entry
yeah.
protocols. The first guy just doesn't look that way, so he doesn't get shot from pit. They just pick whatever they think is going to be most likely and have the other guy watch the other thing.
Just that split second where RPK has to make the decision whether it's a full discipline or what he did. Let him extend just long enough, try to snap back and shut down the second. Masuda, no, that's death's door. And Apex hits the floor as well here. Shocks on the op, missing a shot and looking to run away. But look at Big. The moment he pulled that trigger, they are just swarming across the map. So he's going to have to fight if he wants to keep it. Takes down Tabson, peeking into tunnels, dies to Xanteras, and that's Big to tie up at 4. 3 survivors, op included. Vitality going to have to rebound, and they've got all the cash to do it.
Mm-hmm. All the dollars in the world. And yeah, I mean, you take Ziwu out of mid, it makes things really difficult. I mean, that opening kill, of course, is everything. Is a very nice shot from both Searson and Keto to combine for that frag. Made up for the fact that they did just have a pistol or two there sprinkled in. Tizian out to long, and RBK's up close. I don't know how they're gonna aggress here on CT side, but is he going all the way through it? That might be a trap, man.
Oh no, Tizian. Not able to kill RPK as quick as he should have. Luckily for Big, there is the trade potential, and Keto nabs it.
Part of me wants to assume they didn't expect to see someone there along, but I don't know how they couldn't. But the way they flash RBK through, he's destined to die.
That he is. Maybe it's all a sacrifice for Ziwu. Him versus Searson down long A. If he decides to repeat this, it's going to be dangerous. In the meantime, bombs back at B. Xanteras and Keto tasked with that, and we start to see Tabson shift his feet over. So it's just Searson in the long pit.
They're not going to anticipate Shocks to have the op again. So they got him down last round. I don't think they're going to expect a second rebuy.
Oh, he's going to have to hit the good shots. Give us the good stuff on that B site. Ziwu is starting to sniff out the situation on Cat as well. Shocks. Oh, shoot. 3 guys, side by side, ready for him. And he gets himself the 2 kills. But Xanteras also doubles down. And now Searson, he is nowhere to be found on the play. Shocks had to deliver, and he absolutely does.
They don't recover the op, but they do have lots of money. So they can make a choice whether they want to try it again. But I think that was a nice gimmick round where they have the 2 ops set up. It catches them off guard. And it looks like, yeah, they'll try it again. Oh, sorry. I mean, I called it a gimmick, but of course, you can double up on Dust 2 CT side whenever you want. Locking down B only becomes easier with such a powerful weapon now. Bigger back on pistols. It's been a few rounds of this already. 3 of the 5 that Vitality won, in fact. And Shocks, will he have another farm, or is he just going to get flashed to hell?
Doesn't want to get stuck in the open. Misses the first shot, eats a flashbang, lays down smoke. That's him on an op in smoke. Masuda just kind of blind all in the process. Somehow still back there by car, but Shocks has regained vision. He got himself just enough time. Laying down the smoke grenade, being swarmed from all directions. And Masuda, I mean, he was trying to help, but he couldn't even rattle a shot off because of the consistency in those flashes. I don't know what Shock's pathing was in that bomb site, but it worked wonderfully. Kept himself alive just long enough to regain his chance to hold. And Vitality, well, they've got their chance to regain a significant lead. 6 rounds to 4.
But yeah, he just kind of jumped out to double stack and then hit a crazy shot and stayed alive. And honestly, the execute was great. They had so many long flashes that stayed out for so long. The car guy was blind until Keto was past him. Fun fact, Ziwu, decent player. Ziwu has played on Big on Dust 2 3 times. Has played Big on Dust 2 3 times. He's plus 30 in those games, despite going -1 last time out. Wow, that's so he's actually wow, they've destroyed versus Big, which makes this video even more confident.
Zai wow.
Wow.
Okay. Let's see if you can deliver. I mean, that's a high standard. But we are also talking about Ziwu. So I don't think you can apply him to any standard. I like this angle from Shox, not taking the more dangerous line. But then again, if nobody actually crosses to the far side of middle lane, then he's not going to see anything. So far, they haven't given that.
Wow, they're Vitality picking a... Oh, they're going for the flash long push. Holy, Tizian's going to get destroyed. That is just a beautiful from Vitality. Now they can just readjust, force Vitality either say, hey, you got to make a move right now, which they do. It's actually a big kill from Tabson. The rotations are already in now. They know it's not long control.
Suda could line him up. Oh, he could line him up and knock them down. Gets the double. It's the sniper and Searson trying to scope back up on him. Tabson now joining. But Masuda, 3 kills, 1 magazine. Very nicely done. Leaves Tabson to clutch, and that's not going to happen. Vitality a 7 on this CT side.
An M4A1S can't do that, so that's fair. Maybe we switch back.
Maybe. Just let me know. Let me know what the rules of engagement
Yeah, we
are.
gotta keep the same one no matter what. So I'll keep you updated. I'll send you a Steam message. Well,
Another buy like this.
Yeah, another one.
5th or 6th.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't get any easier. So that round, I mean, it's all about RPK and the flash assist from Long to take control of it. Once they saw, because Big have really not been using Long a lot. It's kind of surprising. You know, we saw G2 not use Long very much. Seeing Big not use Long very much.
Quick one from Apex. It's Masuda tested down by the doors, and ooh, Keto's gonna blast him away with the Deagle. But that flash is what allows Keto to go one better. Now he's got his hands on an M4. Shox plays around the side of the smoke, but Xanteras is already out, and Keto finds him. 3 kills for Keto. The bomb carrier is able to exit out from tunnels. RPK and Apex have to retake on B. Molly falling onto the bomb planter. Tabson kind of committed to the corner. The M4 has been thrown at him. Xanteras is going to have to try and hold off on flank, but he dies to RPK. Now Keto's back on the secondary because no M4 needed. He's got himself the 4th kill of the round, looking for the ace, but it's Tabson to close and Big to rob a round.
We see why he was getting that single AK a couple of times now. Great round from Keto. Let's watch it back.
Oh,
Opening 1 Deagle
3v5.
again. You know what they call it 1 Deagle in Denmark, Connor?
What do they call it? One
One
Deagle in
Douglas.
Denmark. A 1 Douglas.
Or so
I don't
I
know.
could be getting trolled by my Danish subs. But that's what he said. They call it a 1 Douglas.
A 1 Douglas.
Yeah, that's how they say it too. 1 Douglas. Okay. They're waiting for the long hit again. It's coming late this time, but they've been setting. Vitality been doing this kind of like 2 really late until the round. I love how they're playing Long right now. They're paying attention to it. They're knowing when to push. They're keeping the op on site. They're taking a risk on Cat, but they still got RBK and Pit. Oh, okay, never mind. Just kidding.
So I was trying to just run back.
He was so
He'll
dead.
make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should have been. Could have been. Won't be. For now. But meanwhile, we've got that smoke being laid down on the bomb site. Shox is able to catch Xanteras. Dairu trying to hold off, and Keto, well, he's killed Shox. They've gotten all the closer on Long. Ziwu's still yet to turn his attention back. Oh my god! If the no-scope had connected in that situation, it would have been ludicrous. Should have never been alive that long. Apex peaks, and he dies as well. Denied by Searson, so 3 survivors here for Big. That first kill on RPK allowed them to take that A site by storm.
They risked it. They went right into Ziwu's peak, but it was the wide crouch peak, and he was holding too tight for it. A gamble on that, and then they, of course, just took down RBK. Great shot in the pit. It's this perfect angle clearing. Funny part about that was, we saw Ziwu falling back all the way to long. He had the smoke the whole time. He could have smoked the corner if he wanted to.
Sure.
But he knew they weren't going to peek him because he's Ziwu. he said, I'll take the scenic route. I know you're not going to peek me.
You waited for that additional cat player as well. I mean, he killed the crucial cat setup. He had just turned back around and, well, Lady Luck blessed him with the no-scope connection. We may be talking about that round for quite some time. RPK, Deagle kill, the second here for Vitality in the 14th. That's right, we're already at the 14th round. This first half has added up quite quickly. Nice little back and forth game. I mean, let's be real, man. There's no elimination on the line. It's nice and early, start of the day. We've got 3 maps potentially ahead of us. What's the rush? What's the rush?
Yeah.
Let's just enjoy it.
Yeah, I kind of like both sides and the way that they're approaching long. It's hard to say who's doing it better. We had a couple of times where Big were able to crack it open. They killed that RPK on the back of door one time. They killed him in pit here with the Ziwu setup off on the corner. It's been really back and forth. And it's not been, I don't think we've seen a single rush long, have we? No one's just barreled out with continuation flashes from spawn, when it feels like sometimes that's half the rounds that you'll see. It's not been a lot of rushes here on Big's Dust 2, and it's also one of their most won maps. I think their most won map.
The one most won map.
Most wonest.
Searson, he wants that mid peak. Will Shocks give it to him? Probably not. He's got all of the utility, or most of the utility for Vitality. As many grenades as his teammates combined, but he heard those footsteps, doesn't like it. He's looking skitterish. So he tucks back behind the CT box, and that's going to forego cat control to the favor of Big. We have seen Vitality make some proactive long A plays, and I feel like Tizian's on high alert because of that. But they decide not to push through the doors, rather moving Apex back. Will Cat crumble?
So we're probably going to see the smoke from Apex and maybe a push-up on the railing to fight him close up. He's going to see some nades coming across. But they're jumping spawn already.
Yeah, didn't quite work for Tabson. Ziwu instead given a duel with a man who has his back turned. And speaking of back turned, Big complete redirection. They're going to go out middle with 2, and Shocks is having none of that. It's going to fall onto Masuda behind Carr, and Shocks' flash could make the difference. Delays significantly. Big, I mean, they're on the cusp of this bomb site, but so is Vitality. Here is their strength in numbers. Masuda's traded, but it is Vitality to close the first 15 with a 1-round edge. 14 kills for Shoxy at the end of the first half. Join us after the break for the second. Welcome back. Vitality, 1/2 deep here on Dust 2, and they've got a little bit of an edge over Big. This excites me. I wasn't sure if Big was just going to come in here and stomp out the hopes of Vitality's D2 play, but Searson, are you kidding? Completely blind and catches the guy in the sky. I would love to see the replay. I'm pretty sure while blinded, he snaps it up
Totally
and
blind.
laps it down. A little hup, ho, little hee-ha.
RBK doesn't want to be the one who gets run boosted, apparently. Oh, he's at the bomb.
Yeah. No, Ziwu, you go. Ziwu could grow wings and soar to the A site. Tabson, he's getting tagged up around the boxes.
He's Buzz Lightyear, after all.
True. Yeah. Send him in there. Where's Woody? Glocks up. And Glock's down. Oh, yes. Another blind kill. Why not? Xanteres. He's good for the first. First is RPK. It's Apex and Shocks. All that remains. And Keto's going to kill one. Hello, Shocks. Where have you been this entire time?
Man, he's been good though, hasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm
really
with
nice
you.
big plays.
Like you never know which one you're gonna get, but for about besides that Fnatic series, is the amount of maps that he's been like not just good, but like the best player. It's kind of startling.
Down you go.
A great first half, but yeah.
When's the last time you saw Shocks without his hair done?
Oh, it's done to me. I like a bowl cut.
Oh. Yeah, okay. But I mean, where's the
Make
gym?
fun of our bowl cuts?
No, I'm not. I mean,
Okay.
Sorry, man. I forgot. It was an anecdote. Not important.
No, I'll remember that. He'll remember that.
No. Oh, no. No.
We're gonna meet up and talk about that.
Fight me on land.
Hey, sure. We won, only though.
Okay, yeah. Nothing in middle. They're not over facing. There's no deagles in position. Or rather, nothing in position for the deagles.
So, moving back into an execute, because this top of B has been opened up. Haka had a great video on this about why people weren't using this as much. The skylight flash.
Haka has great videos.
I gave him a shout out. I actually did his intro in one of my intros.
Ooh, I like it.
Wow, okay.
Intellectual theft and maybe a little round thievery while we're at it. Team Vitality. That's not supposed to happen big.
Okay, can
Launders?
you do the
Break it
hawk
down.
sound? Ahoy hoy, it's your boy Hawka, here with another CSGO commentary about Vitality.
Not
I don't know,
bad.
he's from Boston now.
Well, you know, Haka's a well-traveled man.
True. It was a good hawk sound. I'm really glad that you took a step back for like that piercing, you know, you don't want it to pierce
Yeah.
the ears
Well, I
of the
mean,
viewers. That was nice of you.
yep, that, and also hawks generally flying above you. You know, I
Right,
felt for the
soaring.
sake of realism,
That's true.
that'd be a distant hawk sound.
Good point. So and I think that was early on in Dust 2. I mean, we made this video and he was talking about like, oh, it just got opened up, but people aren't using it. Well, since then, we've got a number of great executes that have come out that just really abuse that skylight. The kind of like wood panel flashes that come out late, and they're hard to deal with, man. I mean, you can run out looking down with pistols, not worry about being blind, but just have everyone in the site blind for 4 or 5 seconds straight. That's a push shut down.
Yeah, barely. Would have gotten the one and done had Zywoo just fallen, but 15 HP keeps him balling. Vitality. Yep.
This map win is going to be a real stat, I think. We're going to be talking about this one. This is going to be a very important win for both these teams. They're both playing so well recently on Dust 2.
I believe you did say 2 of the best Dust 2 teams in the world at the moment.
Potentially, yeah.
So yeah, for Vitality to continue that win streak would be huge. Dantera's going to walk right into the setup. Vitality with the advantage, of course, in weaponry, and that flashbang is fantastic. Spearson peeled off of it. That's now 4 of the 5 players for Vitality significantly tagged. Tizian will find Zaiwu elsewhere. And he's going to take his scout, move it backwards. Look at this, they save. Oh man, they were so close.
Wow. It's just that point, they get the smoke down on the door cross, and then if you didn't get the kills and you don't have the man advantage, it's pretty much over. So another good win here from Vitality. We're seeing a couple of B leans now, trying to abuse that. Compare Big's game plan was quite deep, I'd say, on Dust 2. You know, different looks on long, a lot of different looks. There wasn't a lot of mid Bs and a lot of long hits, though. And what's interesting about that is, of course, it feels like those are the 2 primary go-tos for most teams that end up on this map. Like, let's gamble it on long control on T side with a good spawn and some great flashes, and then let's try this mid to be on a eco round and try to go out that way. But of course, I guess both of those can be quite random, and it's interesting to see though a team avoid those and still find consistency on the map. That first half was super tight. We can't really, overanalyze it from saying who actually played better. You're splitting hairs. But now in half number 2, looking at Vitality's game plan. Ooh, seeing these B plays and ooh, these trades at mid.
Oh my god, he hit the follow-up shot as well.
Yikes.
What's going on? But he slows down.
Yeah.
Smoke up Cat. Tabson and Tizian could boost over it, and they will. But in doing so... Ooh. Masuda gets away.
They're boosted so late.
Frag grenade goes down. Flash maybe to follow suit. Ziwu is right there. Again, scout damage is great, but the Opper hits harder. And with 50 seconds, they can now divert up the catwalk. Tizian, he could slide out, maybe deal with 2 of the 4, seeing as they are so low. RPK and Masuda, but RPK not seeming to be bothered. And there's Shocks, rocking the boat back yet again. Searson, he was so ready to try and stave off an A play. However, with 2 health, he's going to have to sprint in and just hope maybe he does something on the cross. Let's be real. This is Vitality with an 11th round. A T side that is delivering in leaps and bounds. Ever since the pistol, we've had no round win for Big on the second half.
Basically, remember a round in that first half where one person from Vitality, each of them, was the reason they won. They had either a huge hold on B, RBK's hold on long. RBK has 15 kills. He's actually, he's gotten a number of kills playing long, despite losing a couple of rounds in that same position. Z was controlled middle. There's just a number of win conditions here for Vitality that are all lighting up. They have, pretty solid. Fun fact here. Vitality have the best round win percentage, 4v5 and 5v4. And best multi-kill rate, 0.94 per round at DreamHack Open Fall. Well, that's a stat that will absolutely win you games. That's like one of those stats you look back on and you don't even have to see their record in the tournament. You're like, well, that means they won. They pretty much won every single match.
Well, that's a 16-2 if I've seen one. That damning of a stat line. But not yet. It's not that clear. Not here versus Big. What's wild as well is, let's be real. Let's look at the caliber of opponent Vitality have played so far. It's quite something for them to be holding on to that stat.
Definitely. No, definitely. I was thinking, in the online era, of course, at a certain point now, everyone's used to it. Okay, these results matter more in some sense. And in some sense, they're even harder because these teams are playing each other so much. So it's the streaks that I think should be under the spotlight. Here's a good flash, but Apex finds a point of Sanctuary. Trade will come out, some damage done, but damage hasn't been enough for Big. They've been doing good on damage on these eco rounds, but not getting the kills.
Yeah, good point.
See how they fight Gat? Oh wow, did they Was that a T smoke?
I think so.
Oh yeah, they smoked that themselves. I think that was a miscommunication.
Will they regret it? They move inwards. There's a man on Goose and one on site. 35 seconds left in this fight. Ramp is now Molly. Tizian not able to connect with the Deagle just yet. There it is, an eventual frag. But Apex does best. Searson, now Tabson's position's been revealed, and Tizian's able to get himself a third. This Deagle getting hotter as it winds up on ramp, but RPK slams him back down. 15 seconds to spare, and off of that fake plant, Santares gets closer. RPK, he has an inkling, but he's got a dwindling clock. 5 seconds left as he comes off at the top of it. Oh, and there's the duel for Santares. I don't know if they wanted to go A, but that smoke behind them forced them forward, and it's 12 HP to make the difference.
Now, obviously, if you're going to go up cat, smoking behind you is not a bad idea. But why it seemed like a miscommunication is because it looked like 4 of them turned to watch their flank. And what we've seen in the past few rounds is that they pretend to go cat, but they always end to be on these anti-ecos. And so I'm not sure if they were forced to commit to it because of that smoke that was thrown down, or if they had heard somebody and just threw that smoke down and were continuing to go A. But yeah, from what we've seen, the pattern's always been pretend A, pretend we're doing A, maybe get a kill here, but end up working down mid, juggling rotation, and then ending up at B.
So ready. Tizian just trying to stay tucked. For all he knows, there's 3 players on the other side of those smokes, but that is not the case. Vitality completely moving their forces over towards the tunnels. Maybe leaving Ziwu here on op. Two members of Big tucked into the B site.
No one middle. Another maybe smart move here from Vitality.
Ooh. Oh my god. Oh, I'm gonna request both of those.
Okay.
On a replay, please, because the first one, man, it's like he saw his pinky.
Yeah. Well, that's round. You know, two long setup
That's
there
a
that
round.
late. No one at mid. The 3A setup. It feels like a half where they've virtually only gone B. And won most of their rounds. Looks like 3 of or 4 of 6 right now. No choice but to save. They know that there's still going to be the op on Searson. That could be a honestly, Searson's one of the best car players in the game. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if a big reason they don't want to fight Cat is because of him on A site.
Okay. Look at this.
That's crazy.
That one's also nice.
I want to say it might be a little
Patrick.
harder on land, but he probably hit it on both.
Right? Okay. This is nice. 3-round lead for Vitality. And Big in a position to contest it. Pearson. Oh my goodness. Hyper aggression out mid. I mean, he's making noise, but at the same time, they're just going to maybe go for the catwalk play. They see that there is an opening here. Shocks nearly on the bomb site already. Oh no. CT Molly stops him in his tracks. He can't jump over the sandbags without being blown away by Tizian. Now they're going to start unleashing some utility of their own. Shocks, he's just going to hope this position catches them by surprise. And yes, he will find one hopping up, but Tizian trades it right away. A 4v4 and a frag grenade goes deep, missing the mark as Team Vitality peel back.
Yeah, technically the least important player on the round just by weapon, but a kill nonetheless. I don't think he'll be upset about grabbing that. They got info now on the player playing on the ramp. Oh, Apex will go ahead and grab Tizian as well as they scramble to get control because they were both clumped up on the A site. They had to get something. There's an op trade back, and it's 3v1 on the A site. I don't know if we got a deep CT smoke coming, but this could be the Searson show.
Hey! Ziwu gets trebucheted around the side of long.
Had they made noise?
I mean, you'd think with a run boost, but I don't know if it was picked up. Frag grenade thrown through smoke. Ooh, a little bit of chip damage. Flashbang gets Searson off his post. Molly goes into the bomb site. He peeks into Ziwu. His 15th frag of the map. 10 seconds left over. Bomb still now just getting up the ramp. Xantera's desperately hopping and hoping to try and stop it, but that does not connect to his favor. So now, he won't be so brazen, but still bold. Peeking into it is everyone for Vitality, and it's Masudo with the double to close it. 2 survivors for them as they take their 13th round.
Dude, the kill distribution is so tight here. Bottom fragger with 14 and Apex, who's positive. Top fragger with Shocks, who's 17-11. There's just no easy kills right now for Big to get. And that's a round that's really annoying to see if you're Big, because they do something a little different, right? They have Shocks run all the way up Cat randomly, and it works for a kill. Big, they want to show confidence and not have to scramble to get map control back or show that they've left something to be exploitable. That probably shakes them up a bit. And I think this is a point where, you know, Vitality could take even more control of things now that they're a little bit in their heads. Been a lot of pistoling rounds here for Big.
Like 5 or 6 in the first half. These constant like armored deagle buys. And to be fair, they worked well, right? You said it. Damage was deadly. It was just kind of pushing it over the line that they struggled to do.
Yeah, feels like they've lost the wrong rounds in some sense. Like they've had to save such an incredible amount of times compared to Vitality, I feel like.
Good assessment.
Not sure. There's some economic tweaking that could be done there, but long control here for Vitality. Free plant on the A site. And it's one where Big are assuming, of course, it's going to be B, because that's where the anti-ecos have always ended up.
Sure. In a world where the counter-terrorists have some guns, then those... Oh my god, RPK aces.
That's right. Every rotator, yeah. I mean, that's all a stack. All dead in pretty much the same spot.
Sure. Anti-eco ace, not something to lose our minds about, but RPK still just doing such a good job of it, man. Barely taking damage, barely giving them a chance. I was going to say the double smokes on long weren't perfect. You know, there was a gap, but if any of the rounds to make that mistake, doing it versus pistols is the perfect time. So they won't be punished. Vitality, that is. Big. They were bullied. They got aced. 5-round lead. Vitality 14-9. About to pick up, perhaps, their opponent's map choice, continuing their win streak. And, you know, we talked about the level of opponent that Vitality have this streak versus. You add Big to that tally, and now you're really talking. And to return back to your point from a couple rounds ago, in this era of CS, you are absolutely right. You know, we need to really praise the streaks, the sprees, that continuous repetitive success. When things are so topsy-turvy, it's difficult to stabilize, and Vitality are absolutely doing that on Dust 2. And Searson, he's going to try to change it. One shot out of the op, and he finds his kill versus Apex.
Searson's always got a little hot sauce in the tank. Full flash grabs that one quick. Apex is out. I like the setup from Big overall with the B lean, where you have the opper on A. You discourage B by having the setup, or you encourage B maybe by not showing anything at mid. That leaves Vitality guessing, but they've got to pick their poison. Run into Searson, or this 3-stack on B. Uh-oh. Epson's kind of out of position there, but he'll be able to fall back and get some damage on Ziwu as well. But now I think Vitality know what kind of setup it is. Oh.
Yeah. Suck on that.
All right, let's keep eye on Shocks now. See how he times his
Shocks
flirt.
versus Tizzy, and this is going to be a big one.
Oh, they're flanking him.
Oh, he's going to get pinched. yeah, a little late reaction, but we've all been there.
Yeah.
Thinking maybe it was a teammate until, oh wait, you guys don't have full mid control? Then, bada boom.
Oh,
Tabson,
man.
Oh, goes down and shocks. Now, I mean, that's everything. You see the moment that kill happens, Big start reeling away from tunnels. And even then, they
Goddamn.
can't escape the death. Ziwu honing in on them. That's 4 players up for Team Vitality as they take their 15th. They are very likely going to
Crazy.
upset on Dust 2.
Yeah. It's so, and so this would bring their win percentage up. This would add to the tally of, honestly, they beat better teams on Big than on Dust 2 than Big have. Again, just to go over the streak again, they're the one who's actually on a streak. Big have a loss versus OG two games ago, and it was quite one-sided in the single digits. So Vitality 16-12 versus Mouse Sports, 19-16 versus Complexity, 16-8 versus Fnatic, 16-11 versus FaZe, and then finally losing to Astralis 11-16. But no shame in that.
Uh-oh, RPK. Ouch. Put that in your Quaker Oats. Searson trying to connect the scout boost, but oh my god, the frag grenades are making a bit of a difference here in round 25. See if they can close with kills. Both Apex and RPK weaken the knees after those frags landed. Facility usage coming out of the catwalk. It's the double smoke. It elicits a response in the form of a Molotov. Oh my god, Tabson tagged through it.
Oh my god, he's calling out Tabson's place so hard. I mean, he sees the smoke, knows that it's got to be some kind of push. Oh, he sees him.
Yep, that's Tabson down for the count. Very nicely done by Apex.
If Vitality
Now-
win this round, it'll be tied for Big's worst loss on Dust 2 with OG.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You're painting a very bleak picture. See if they can improve on the score before it comes to a close. If it comes to a close just yet. Searson, he throws himself inside of the smoke. He hears all the players cross. Nice scout headshot coming in for a second bit of damage. It's Masuda tagged low and Tizian off of the ramp. It's a 2 versus 2 with a health advantage here firmly to the favor of Big. And 10 seconds left means Apex has to tuck tail. They've done it. Nice moves by Searson. I mean, once he loses Tabson on those boxes, and considering he's playing with a scout of all things, holy, Big, able to get to double digits. 5 map points remain.
Yeah. Normally, you'd like to keep your distance and try to hit scout shots that way. So, yeah, it's very brave for him to come through that smoke and look for a timing and also be prepared to hit a scout shot. But I think he really just believes that it's unlikely he misses. That's how good he is with the scout. Like, almost every single time, he'll get that headshot. He can move with confidence. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
That is so many flashbangs.
There might have been
The
one too
student
many.
did get into fit. Right, yeah. Oh, there's more. RPK can't see a thing. And neither can Apex as he swings through smoke and looks for more here. But Tabson's able to recover it. A 4v2 situation's what we're left with. Big. My God, I feel like I got a tan after this round.
That we do need one, so. But I think that would be the maybe the one time we've seen fast law
Yeah.
control.
Yep,
On
you're
this map.
dead on.
And it didn't work. So that's why the top teams are not doing it anymore, apparently. It's a little bit random. Now, you know what I think is a bit random about it? Is whoever throws it doesn't matter how many flashes you throw. You got to throw a bunch because otherwise you're not doing your part. Like, yeah, everyone's throwing their flashes. But it's really just about who throws the last one that matters, you know? The CTs, do they know there's one more coming? And if they turned around playing anti-flash for just a second extra, right? Whoever throws the last one for which side gets to turn around and shoot and see blind players.
Oh. Hunt them down. They're stuck. They're desperate. They're damaged. They're getting boxed in from the base of mid. There it is. Keto and Searson close it. There was a world, though. You know, Vitality we're facing, and their individuals look good enough to have cracked that one open. So I respect Big for just kind of playing it cool.
Yeah.
But they're going to have to keep it cool and fresh for 4 more rounds.
So keeping up with Shocks and his 100 ADR plus 90 ADR other map. He's got actually 71 here. It's only RPK who has 85, largely because of that ecoing ace. But the ADR is just quite low across the board. Everyone basically in the 70s, everyone from Big in 60s. Keto, the only one was 74. It's kind of interesting. It's just been so even strength that there's no real bottom fraggers on the server. No real players completely out of it today. You know, Tabs did not have an amazing game, for sure. But I've seen... Oh! Well, that's a top fragger gone.
Oh my god, I thought he was going to do it twice. Oh, Tizian. Poor guy. Shocked. He's going to walk in on this one. He smelled blood in the water. Tizian was caught flopping around with his grenades out. Then we have Tabson trying to make a proactive play from Cat because they're reeling back. They're looking for some sort of a desperate recovery from Ziwoo's early damage. You see, you can try your absolute damnedest. You can stabilize map control. You can do everything. But when Ziwoo's connecting shots, it's really tough to weather the storm. Searson putting up his defenses. And Xantares is going to contribute as well. Now, if Searson walks in, sees Catwalk for free, Xantares also knowing that there's nothing there, suddenly they could turn all of their attention back on Long. And check out the utility. Vitality, a singular smoke. There is no safe way to make this cross happen, but if they just wait long enough, maybe Searson walks into his death. RPK is keeping eyes on it, but now he starts to turn. Oh, Searson. They got away from him.
Okay.
How about some trigger discipline?
Oh, baby.
He's going to start to round the corner. He makes noise, shoots Apex in the spine. A second as RPK goes down. Masuda turns it down into the clutch. With his entire team having eyes on him, 17 frags to his name. He faces off versus Turkey's best. A flashbang for Xantares to maybe try and exit. He was met by a Molotov on Cat, so he redirects through CT spawn, and Masuda's just going to look at his feet. Try and keep things cool. Oh, and is there anything cooler than that? Pops up, takes his head off, and takes map 1. Vitality robbing the choice away from Big.
What can you say about that? It feels like Dust 2 is a bonus map that you can play if your entire team is on form on other maps. You don't play Dust 2 if not for that. Both these teams are on form on these other maps, but Big picking into it is a confidence pick, but it's met with some resistance. Now it'll affect future vetoes. It's one more on the streak of map wins for Vitality, and a very big win at that.
Yeah, most certainly. And now we move on to Inferno, which I think makes this series all the more interesting. It's going to be incredibly close, I think, all the way through. So let's see how close things get. Our analysts after the break, and map 2 soon enough.